Battlefield very well could stomp Call of Duty this year. But what does that really mean? The thing that we as consumers get out of it is a good product that's fun. But if the product that it's competing against is already hot Madonna cheeks, it's dookie, it's trash, it's garbage, it is dumpster juice, bacon on a goddamn summer's eve in New York, it beat dookie, okay? Because if it's just a level above dookie, then it means it's cheeks. What up, y'all? Former Blizzard president predicts Battlefield 6 is going to boot stomp Black Ops 7 because Call of Duty has become lazy. That's a crazy and salacious article title, but hey, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. I haven't been feeling Call of Duty for a minute. I don't know about everybody else, but I haven't been feeling it for a minute. I'm an individual that works a 9 to 5, and when I come home and I play a couple of games, not even that many, I say probably somewhere between 1 to 3 games, and then they put me in a lobby with like ninjas that got the full-blown neck beard. They sweating out of their goddamn pores. Their palms are just drenched. They could fill up a whole goddamn bucket. That's not fun gaming to me. Fun gaming to me is turning off my brain and just like letting everything rock. But if I'm constantly like at the edge of my seat every game, like dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit, eventually I'm gonna get exhausted. Like I'm gonna be like, I'm kind of good on this. Like I didn't buy this for an MLG experience. Like I'm an old man now. I'm old. I've got daggone old. I'm not out here trying to play with the trick shotters out here doing 360s and somehow they beam me from like 3,000 miles away. Like I don't want to do that. I don't understand it, bro. And on top of that, with like the rampant cheating that just exists in multiplayer games in general, and these anti-cheats aren't doing jack squatto. Just that factor alone, like I'm good on it, bro. So if Battlefield 6 believes that it's going to boot stomp Black Ops 7, I don't think the bar is high. I mean, there are a bunch of shooters out there that has like a bigger player base than Call of Duty right now. Shoot, I think the Counter-Strike community has become bigger than the Call of Duty community at this current point in time. As well as like, what is it, Valorant and Overwatch? I don't think Call it Marvel Rivals. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't even see like content creation for Call of Duty being as big as it used to be like back in the day. And granted, the content creation isn't necessarily indicative to audience size, but at the same time, it's a part of it because it shows what people want. It shows what the demand is for that particular game. And I would say, well, yeah, if you're calling it a bubble, then what is it really? You know what I mean? But with all that being said, it's not necessarily that Battlefield is much better according to Mike Yabar. I probably just butchered your name. Apologies, my brother. But that Call of Duty kind of sucks. I would agree. Call of Duty is hot Madonna cheeks. Call of Duty is dumpster juice on a bacon New York summer sun. Like it is cheeks. It is bunziti. But I slammed my table and I lost my point. With that being said, former Blizzard president Mike Yabar spends his time these days heading up a technically what in the strawberry fukakta? Technically not gambling daily fantasy sports company. All right, I'm ignorant, so forgive me. What does that mean? what does that mean? But that doesn't mean he's bereft of thoughts on gaming, video games. Hold up. Former Blizzard president Mike Yabar. So he owns, what is it, like DraftKings or something? Technically non-gambling, not gambling. Daily. Why did you have to include? You know what? I'm gonna leave that alone because in my mind, I'm thinking whoever wrote that, you're as dumb as me. Oh no, I accidentally clicked away. Late last year, he, what is that, opine that Marvel Rivals is just an Overwatch ripoff. Oh, is that guy? I mean, he wasn't wrong, but at the same time, like, you reskin any game with something that you reskin any game that is a part of pop culture, or not, how do I put it? So if you take the mechanics of Overwatch, right, and you provide it with the skin of anything that's a part of pop culture, like for example, let's say you make a Star Wars style Overwatch game, or, and don't say Battlefront. Battlefront ain't it. That's what I would say. Battlefront ain't it. But if you take like Star Wars, let's say you even do a Family Guy, South Park, Boondocks, or anything like that, like anything that's a part of pop culture, and you do something like that, people are gonna flock to it. And it's not necessarily because they think that the gameplay is good. It's going to be because, oh, I recognize thing looks fun. I want to try it. That's it. And Marvel Rivals had like a big surge in players. I think during the time that it was out, like its first month out, I think, which did not sit well with PC gamers. Ellie Gold, and now he's back to say that this year Battlefield 6 is going to stomp Call of Duty's guts out. I think a broken clock is right 2 times a day, so he could be right about this. He could be wrong. I will say this: never count out a Call of Duty fan, or never count out the casual gamer. Is what I would say, because I consider myself a casual gamer, but I ain't that casual. I would say never count out the casual gamer, in particular for Call of Duty, because individuals who love Call of Duty, that's what they're gonna play. They eat, sleep, breathe, crap Call of Duty games. It don't matter if it's the best. It don't matter if it's the worst. It's like, it's Call of Duty, baby. What else am I going to play? There's nothing else to play. I don't know what else to play. What else exists? You know, they're going to play Call of Duty like nothing else exists. He actually used the term boot stomp, but given the subject matter, military shooter. Okay. I think my choice of wording is more on point anyway. Battlefield will boot stomp COD this year, Yabara wrote on X, but the real win here is COD won't be lazy anymore, and we'll get better FPS games for it. See, that's when you lose me. See, you could be right and be wrong in the same breath. And I've said this since the release of Modern Warfare 2, although I did have to eat crow when Black Ops 3 came out, which in my opinion is the best Call of Duty game ever made. It's Black Ops 3, then Modern Warfare 2, then Modern Warfare, in my opinion, for top 3 COD games. What I will say is that you can say that, but that don't mean it's true. Call of Duty has been on the decline since the release of, I want to say, Modern Warfare 2. And that was after the OG developers left. I mean, the ones that's been there since Call of Duty 1 back in the early 2000s. Like, back when it was just only on PC. When they left, Call of Duty has been on a downward trajectory, in my opinion. The games had only been getting worse until when Titanfall 1 came out. They looked at that Titanfall formula, and then they was like, hey, yo, Black Ops 3, baby. Or they said Advanced Warfare, and then after Advanced Warfare, they said Black Ops 3, baby. There you go. But I think, what was it? Advanced Warfare was the pseudo Infinity Ward that they had. The gutted Infinity Ward that they had. So with that being said, I don't think this is going to cause Call of Duty to get any better, because you got to think about it. They're making a lot of their money off of these season passes. They're making a lot of their money off of these skins, all of that stuff. Like, people are eating it up. People are buying it. Call of Duty is the mature Fortnite. It's the Fortnite for adults. So if that's the case, like, if they're still raking in the money that they're raking in, and I'll be 100% honest, I don't know exactly how much Call of Duty is raking in anymore, because I stopped caring. I stopped keeping up. I do know the last time that I checked in, they brought in billions. They brought in billions. I don't know how, I don't know why, but they brought in billions. And with that being said, if the bottom line is the only thing that matters. If their bottom line isn't being hurt, they're not going to care. And that's just the bottom line. So I don't think he's right with that. I don't think Call of Duty is going to get any better. I think it's just going to continue to get procedurally worse for the sake of making a buck. That's just my opinion. And that's also why I haven't bought a Call of Duty game for as long as I have. But he said he defended his pick in a subsequent reply post, saying Call of Duty has gone downhill for years, since Infinite Warfare in 2016. It's a mess. Cheating, heavy UI / install, rainbow colors. People are sick of it. Luckily, BF will force them to change it. They won't. And you want to know why? It's because games like Marvel Rivals still exist. Games like Overwatch still exist. You know the game that should have made them change their opinion, but it didn't? Rainbow Six Siege. And they didn't. Because they was losing players to Rainbow Six Siege at one point in time, but then they got those players right back. And you know why? Because Rainbow Six Siege has a high skill ceiling. As a dude who used to play Rainbow Six Siege, like back before it became what it became, but back during like the 20 teens, like Rainbow Six Siege used to be dope, but you know, it be what it be. See what you see. But Battlefield, okay, then it goes back into that. I generally take exception to any characterization of game developers as lazy. Who said that? Was this the writer or was this him? I think this was the writer. No, there are such thing as lazy game developers. Speaking as an ex game developer myself, there is a such thing as lazy game developers. And the reason why I would say lazy game developers is in some cases you will follow a formula that already exists, in which case could be considered lazy because you're not doing any R&D, you're not really trying to test the boundaries of anything, you're just going along, getting along. So there's a such thing as lazy developers, but continue. And that holds here too. But at the same time, it's hard to argue that Call of Duty hasn't become rote and routine. I don't know what this word is. Hold up. I need to know. I need to know. Define rote. Mechanical or habitual repetition of something to be learned. Something to be learned. Habitual repetition of something to be learned. You're not really learning Call of Duty. Once you pick it up, you already know it though. But I'm gonna let you rock. I'm gonna let you rock. Where I stop? Rote and routine. Black Ops 7 almost feels like a parody title. 7 of them, really. And 20 no, I think it's more than that, isn't it? Because you got Black Ops Cold War, which I don't think was, did they do? No, Black Ops Cold War was 5. Because I think after Cold War they said 6, didn't they? Yeah, sorry. Yeah. All right, never mind. All right, so the second sequel of a reboot of Call of Duty sub-series from 2007, I still wouldn't call it lazy, but stagnant, I may be biased. No, it's lazy. It All right, I get what you're trying to say because it's kind of similar to like if an individual were to say like, "Oh, Final Fantasy is lazy because all they're doing is iterating on each number of Final Fantasy." But see, here's the kicker when it comes to Final Fantasy, right? So with Final Fantasy, there's a different story, a different cast of characters, a different mechanical set for it in most cases, addition of a ton of different items and all that. With Call of Duty, they rotate a lot of the same weapons. In some cases, I can't speak for this legitimately. I'm just going to assume, I'm gonna say allegedly. In some cases, the sound design even sounds similar to the previous games, if that makes sense. Just a few touches and tweaks. So in that aspect, you could call it lazy. You could, because it's just the same thing being regurgitated every year, you know? And someone could say the same thing about Battlefield, but with Battlefield, you genuinely see a distinct difference. Either it be in some particular engine, like let's say Destruction, the Destruction engine. If you look at it from the Bad Company series all the way until now, you can see vast differences between the games. With Call of Duty, it's very similar until you get to Advanced Warfare. And then even when you go from Advanced Warfare to call Black Ops 3, there is a drastic difference in that the play style and the gameplay. Because not only are you dealing with horizontal gameplay, you're also dealing with verticality on horizontal planes. So it's entirely different, in my opinion, when you look at it from that aspect. But when you start to look at it from Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 4 all the way until now, it's been the same. Legitimately been the same thing. The only thing that changes differently is the aesthetic. That's it. In terms of the mechanical set of the game, and you can say, well, Black Ops 6 has the omnidirectional movement. You don't have to use it. It's there, yes. You don't have to use it. You don't even have to use it to be decent at the game. You don't. Whereas in Black Ops 3, in order for you to be decent, the mechanical set that they supply to you, if you weren't good with that booster pack, you was getting your cheeks clapped left and right. They was beating that jank like a Congo drum. Like you was getting them janks clapped. So I'm just saying. But with all of that, I'm not a Call of Duty fan by any measure. Hold up, my bad. I jumped the gun. Bringo. So, and 2023's entry, because 2024 was Black Ops 6, was the second sequel to the rebooted subseries, blah, blah, blah. And then I still wouldn't call it lazy, but stagnant. I'm not a Call of Duty fan by any measure, but I say, yeah, absolutely. The other part of your bar's big bad is the real question. Can Battlefield 6 finally score the win over Call of Duty? I think Battlefield been scored the win over Call of Duty. Just looking at it, not as a Battlefield fan, not as a Call of Duty fan, but just as a gamer. Battlefield been won against Call of Duty. Maybe not in terms of sales or anything like that, but in terms of mechanical set, as well as gameplay, Battlefield been won. Battlefield won like back during Battlefield 4, which in my opinion is the best Battlefield that came out. Well, no, I would say Battlefield 3. But they won back during Battlefield 4, even though it had a terrible launch. When they finally rounded out the kinks and got it up and running, like, it was great. It was better than the, hold up, no. Did that come out 2013? Never mind, no they did. I'm lying, because I think that's when Black Ops 3 came out. No, they didn't. I'm lying. My bad, bro. Sometimes I be talking on my neck. I had to think about it for a second. The year popped up in my head when it came out. Can Battlefield 6 finally score a win over Call of Duty? Early signs are positive. The open beta has already made it the most popular Battlefield of all time on Steam. And more importantly, PC Gamer's resident Call of Duty expert, Morgan Park, has declared that Battlefield is making an excellent case to skip Call of Duty this year. You telling me that it took Battlefield for y'all to skip that game this year? Y'all wildin'. Y'all wildin'. With the plethora of other shooters that exist out here, it took for Battlefield 6 to tell y'all to skip Call of Duty this year. See, this is that bull. This is that BS right there. This is that that fukakta, which doesn't guarantee anything, because the real challenge Battlefield is facing is simple inertia. Call of Duty is a habit for an awful lot of people. And the great thing about habits is that we do them without thinking. If Battlefield really knocks it out of the park this year, Call of Duty continues to coast, that could absolutely set the table for a real power shift in future years. But a full-on stomping this year seems like a long shot to me. All right, so here's the last thing that I will leave this off with, right? And that's, I used to watch a lot of Call of Duty content creators, right? So like 402 Thunder, I used to watch him. I don't watch him no more. What's his name? Murder Show. Used to watch him. Actually, I watched him recently. He was playing the Battlefield 6 beta, right? I didn't play the Battlefield 6 beta myself because like I played D&D. One of the homies at D&D, he had told me that he played the Battlefield 6 beta and that it was mid. He thought it was mid. And I value his opinion. And so in valuing his opinion, I didn't try it, because Battlefield has burned me from Battlefield. After Battlefield 4 came out, I think after that, they just continuously released subpar Battlefield games, in my opinion. From Battlefield Hardline, which was just a reskin of Battlefield 4, to Battlefield 5, I believe. Or was it Battlefield 1? To Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5. Then after that, they released Battlefield 2042 or something like that, right? And to me, each of those incrementally got worse. Similar with Call of Duty. After Modern Warfare 2, they incrementally got worse. And then Black Ops 3 came out and shot to the moon for me. And then after that, incrementally got worse. Battlefield did the same thing for me. Now, Battlefield 6 could be the one that shoot to the moon, but I don't know, because I'm not willing to give it a shot. Just simply off the fact of what one of my homies said. Normally, I would discount what people say and I would try. But to get to my point, I was watching the Murder Show play it, right? And I was watching the way that he was playing it. And it helped show me what my issue is, not necessarily with shooters, but with all multiplayer games, just in general. With all multiplayer games. And it's that the crop of people that play games nowadays, or just, I guess, the boom of content creation, has soiled multiplayer games for me. And it's because individuals aren't necessarily playing for fun. They're playing like their goddamn life depends on it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to play against that, like, at all. I don't want to play against that. I want to sit down. I want to joke. I want to try random things. I want to have fun. I don't want to get sniped from 5,000 miles away. I don't want to think, oh, is that person cheating? How did they hit me with every single bullet? Why isn't their gun jumping? Why isn't, and cheating is rampant in almost all shooters. I think outside of Valorant, and that's just because of how crazy Riot Games like anti-cheat system is. But in almost every shooter I played, I have encountered some type of cheating, to the point where I was just like, you know what? I don't think these things are worth my time, and therefore I'm gonna just. I got a bunch of games in my backlog. I got like over 1,000 games in my backlog. I'm gonna go play these single player games, and I'm just gonna vibe out with that. And with that being said, like, as I was watching Murder Show like play the joint, he didn't look like he was having fun. And he's a Call of Duty nut though. But he didn't look like he was having fun with Battlefield 6. And in his mind, what he said is, I'm gonna play this game like it's team deathmatch. And then it just struck in my head like how many times I played Rush like back in the day, and people wouldn't attack the objective, and it'll always be me and my homies that would be attacking the objectives, blowing it up, moving on to the next point and all that. And then just thinking about that. And it's like, yeah, why play a game where people don't even play the game the way that it's intended? People are going for the trick shots. People are going for the kills. People are going for the accolades and prestige of this digital game. And then on top of that, with the boom of content creation and individuals just trying to make a buck off of this, rather than just treating it as it is, it's just a piece of entertainment that's meant to help you pass the time. I'm good on it, bro. I'm good on it. Battlefield very well could stomp Call of Duty this year. But what does that really mean? Like, think about it, for real, for real. What does that really mean? Are you getting a cut of those residuals for Call of Duty beating Battlefield? No. Does me saying that sound stupid? Yes, it does. It does. And the reason why I'm saying it is just because, what are you really getting out of it? The thing that we as consumers get out of it is a good product that's fun. But if the product that it's competing against is already hot badutta cheeks, it's dookie, it's trash, it's garbage, it is dumpster juice, bacon on a goddamn summer's eve in New York, then what does it even matter if it wins? It beat Dookie, okay. But what is the quality of that game? Is that game good? Because if it's just a level above Dookie, then it means it's cheeks. So I don't know. To me, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't get the whole entire thing of it, but maybe somebody else do. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think. Until next time, I catch y'all. Deuces.